Hi, today we are going to be working on subtracting decimals. No longer with the models, without the models now. Okay, so the same rules apply as with the adding decimals. The first step you're going to do is going to line up the decimal points. Okay, then you're going to subtract instead of add. You're going to subtract, and you're going to subtract just as if the decimal points are not there. And then at the very end, you'll bring your decimal points straight down. Okay, so line up the decimal points, subtract, and then bring down. Okay, those are your main steps. Now there is another step in there that you may need to do. We'll get to in a few minutes here. Okay, so first example here we have is the table shows the average length of 3 longest bones in the human body. How much longer is the average femur than the average tibia? So we got all the lengths right here. Okay, so we're going to want to find out the average femur and the average tibia. So we're going to take 19 and 8/10 minus 16 and 9/10. So we line up the decimal points. Okay, and it would look like this. Okay, then we're going to subtract. Okay, subtract the digits. All right, so we're going to take. We can't take 9 away from 8, so we have to borrow. So we're going to borrow. We're going to change the or cross off the 9, make this an 8. Okay, and it makes this, adding it that 1 we borrowed from the 10s here, making this 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, so we have 2 and 9/10 as our difference. Okay, so the average femur is 2 and 9/10 longer than the average tibia. Okay, so subtraction and addition are inverse operations. Inverse operations are operations that undo each other, basically the opposite. Okay, so to check your answer, you can, if you put the 2.9 in here and you add that up, 2.9 plus, or 2 and 9/10 plus 16 and 9/10, and you did the work, which we're not going to do on the slide, but if you did the work, it would equal 19 and 8/10. So we would have the correct answer. Okay. All right, next page. All right. The on this page, okay, the other thing you're going to have to do, sometimes both numbers in a subtraction problem do not end in the same place value. You're going to annex. Another word for annex is actually one that you might know better, which they should have used, is we're going to add. Okay, so we're going to add zeros if necessary. So if we're taking 6 and 3/10 minus 4 and 7/8, if we write that, this 0 is not originally there. So if we line up the decimal points, and if they don't have, if the top number, the big number, does not have the same amount of place value, you're going to add zeros to line up to the bottom. Okay, so you add zeros to make sure you have the same place value, same number of place value places in the top number as you do the bottom number. It's very important. Okay, all right, so after we do that, then we subtract just like normal. Okay, we cannot take 8 away from 0, so we have to borrow, making this a 2. Okay, which makes this over here, we bring the 1 we borrowed from the 10s over here and make it 10. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Can't take 7 away from 2, so we got to borrow, making this a 5. Okay, so we which makes this 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, so your answer is 1 and 52 hundredths. Make sure you bring that decimal point straight down. If it's not in your answer, the answer is wrong. Okay, and make sure you bring it straight down. Some of the homework I've been grading, you're not staying lined up, and you end up with a decimal point over here or over here. That's not straight down. Make sure you keep it all lined up. Then you can use addition to check your answer, which makes your if you take 1 and 52 hundredths plus 4 and 78 hundredths, you're going to get 6 and 3/10. Okay. All right. So you'll probably actually get 6 and 30 hundredths, but we know that is the same as 6 and 3/10 because 3/10 and 30 hundredths are the same thing. Okay, so go ahead and do these guided practice here at the bottom. Okay, go ahead and do that. Pause the video and then do number 1 and 2. And then turn it back on when you are done with them. Okay, so yes, it's 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay. If you estimated that, you'd get 3. If so 5 and 5/10 minus 3 and 2/10 equals 2 and 3/10. Okay, and we could check that by adding them up to find out that yes, that would be the correct answer. Okay, over here you can't take 5 away from 4, so you're going to borrow, making this a 1, making this 14. 14 minus 5 equals 9. Can't take 2 away from 1, so you're going to borrow, making this a 6. You're going to add that 1 here, making that 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. So then 6 minus 1 is 5. So our answer is 59 and 9/10. If we estimated this, we'd get 60. And if we so we know that 59 and 9/10 is really, really, really close to 60, so we know we are correct. And if we could check it by adding, which you can do, check it by adding, you would take 59 and 9/10 plus 12 and 5/10, which would give you 72 and 4/10. Okay, and that would be correct. Okay, at this point, I will be handing you a worksheet to work on to get a couple more problems done before you move on to your next stage or your next station. Okay, so just remember, line up the decimal points. Then after you line up the decimal points, you subtract. If you may need to add a 0 to make sure you have the same amount of numbers in the top number as you do the bottom number, same amount of digits, same amount of place value. May need to add a 0, may need to add 2 zeros, may need to have three zeros, who knows. But you make sure you add the zeros that you need, and then after that, make sure you bring that decimal point straight down. So keep your numbers lined up so that you don't get off. All right? Have a pleasant day.